Jesus, as a historical figure, lived, made those claims, died, and raised from the dead, how could that kind of power have gone out and changed the Roman Empire based out of weakness?
Okay.
That's the whole point. I mean, if somebody can come up with a theory, then maybe I'll buy into that. But so rarely are people able to have theories and say, somehow Jesus, the historical evidence based off his resurrection that so many people agree with, and changed the entire Roman Empire after 100 years before Constantine in 300s. How did that occur? What was the lightning rod that just sparked and just blew up the Roman Empire? How could a slave have done that?
Right. I don't know what to tell you about that, man.
That's a good question. That's a good question. Your question was a good question.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Somebody else
Yeah.
have a question?
Thank you. You too.
One, why are you recording it? Two, why this format? Why not more of a? This is very like getting shouted at is a very, it just breeds hostility. So like why those two things?
The reason why we're recording it is because it reaches more people to think through, whether it's a television, whether it's TikTok, whether it's YouTube, to actually think through what the message is. And so we have many people come up to us and say, hey, I was a strong atheist, saw it on YouTube, and it's helping me change my mind. It's helping me live a more ethical life following Jesus' teachings. Thank you so much. It's not for self-aggrandizement. I certainly hope it's not. And then to your next point, I do not think that this is breeding hostility. Do I think some people come in and they've been hurt by the church or hurt by their parents dragging them to church every single Sunday morning, and so they get very hostile? Perhaps we sometimes get a little too intense. But no, there are endless amounts of students who we speak with afterwards, who their blinders have been taken off, nothing basically that we've done, who say, thank you, I want to keep up this discussion.
4 years ago at the University of Texas, Austin, a professor came up to me before I began one day and said, Cliff, I hope that you understand that you've been doing this now for a lot of years, which means you have an unfair advantage over the students. And I looked her in the face and I said, ma'am, I understand what you're saying, and I hope you realize that the same is true of you. You have a PhD, you're on this faculty here at UT Austin, you've studied these issues a lot more than the freshman, sophomore, junior who come into your class. So then what do we have to do, ma'am? What we got to do is we got to communicate clearly, we've got to respect people, and we have to encourage people to think. And that is exactly what we're doing here. And over the past 40 years, I can't count the number of professors that have come up to me and said, Cliff, I'm